So it seems like a lot more RTAs have been popping up, and I'm always happy to hear that because I'm a big fan of RTAs. And if you were a fan of the original Geekvape Zeus single coil or the Zeus dual, which was a dual coil, then today's RTA might be of some interest to you because today we're going to check out the brand new Zeus X RTA from Geekvape. And you're probably wondering, wow, that is a big ass box for an RTA. Don't worry, this is not the final retail packaging, this is the reviewer packaging, and your box will be much, much smaller. Why am I showing the box? I have no idea. I probably shouldn't even show it. What does the X stand for in the Zeus X? Extremely easy to build on, extra good flavor, or extra money that you just don't need to spend? I'm not sure. Hopefully we could find out in this video. Now, the Zeus X was sent over directly by Geekvape for the purpose of this review. If you guys are looking to pick one up, you will not find any links in the description because YouTube does not allow promoting of tobacco links in the description any longer. So you have to type in the Google Geekvape Zeus X RTA, hit enter. You'll find a bunch of vendors have these at the moment. Going price $32 to $34.95. So inside the box, you'll get the Zeus X RTA that will include 2 drip tips. You'll get a bubble glass tank, a standard glass tank, some spare parts that include a tri-tool, O-rings, extra post screws. We got your ready wicks, and they do include some pre-made coils. So the Zeus X RTA is constructed of all stainless steel. It's available in 6 different color options. This is the all stainless steel one that you see here. Now it does measure about 25.5 millimeters at the very bottom of the base, and then it goes up to around 26 millimeters. So the part that comes in contact with your device will be about 25.5. Up at the top, they will include 2 of the smallest. These are the lowest profile drip tips I've ever seen in my life, 810 drip tips. This one is going to be the Delrin, and if I pull this out, look how low profile that thing is. That is crazy. They will also include an Ultim that's a little bit larger, but still super low profile. Luckily, we can use our own 810 drip tips on here, and they do include the 510 drip tip adapter if you want to use your smaller 510 tips. Now, we do have top fill. We have the threadless top fill design, so all I got to do is give it a quarter turn or a half turn, remove that fill cap, and if you look down in there, you got 2 fill ports that are a little on the small side, but I didn't have any issues with my juice spitting back out at me, so not too bad there. Now we have top airflow, and they're calling this the top side airflow. Not top side, but top side airflow. Because the airflow comes in at the top and it hits the coil from the side. I'll show you how the airflow works in a moment. But we got 2 large air slots at the top that measure in at about 12 millimeters each. We do have adjustable airflow control, as you can see there. And the airflow control ring does have stopping points. And when you remove the fill cap, sometimes this likes to come off with it because the O-ring behind it is really not the greatest. So just something to kind of point out. Now they will include 2 glass tanks inside the kit. You will get the bubble glass tank that's going to hold about 4.5 mLs of liquid, and the standard glass tank that's going to hold about 3.5 mLs of liquid. There's a look at the standard glass tank. Actually looks pretty nice with the standard glass on the tank. Now, of course, we don't have any bottom airflow, only top airflow, which means this will be kind of a leak-proof RTA since there is no bottom air holes for the juice to leak out at. So that is a nice feature there. At the bottom, we got your gold-plated, non-adjustable 510 pin with the Zeus X logo machined or laser etched, should I say, into the finish. If we unscrew the base, you'll see we have a 2-piece tank section, and we have a removable chimney. So there's a chimney down inside of here, and it's held in place with an O-ring. So it's a little bit of a pain to try to pull it out, but if you grab your tweezers, you can get in there and pop it out. Oh, there we go. And as you can see there, the airflow is going to come in from those holes right there, and it's going to hit the coils from the side. And when you build it, don't put the chimney onto the build deck. You want to take the chimney, you want to pop it down inside of here like that, and then push it, and you'll feel that O-ring kind of put it in place, and then you can screw the tank down to the base. Machine quality on all the parts and pieces, very nicely done, no sharp edges, beautiful quality stainless steel. If we have a look at the build deck, we have an 18mm build deck with a 2-post bridge style design. You can see the posts are kind of like a drop style where you just kind of drop your coils in there and they kind of look like a bridge. We got your 4 post holes. Each post hole is going to measure about 2.25mm each, so not the smallest and not the biggest. They are using flathead grub screws in the post, and I did look in the spare parts bag. They do not include any Allen screws or hex screws, so only flathead screws on this one. And your wicking channels are pretty big. Your wicks are going to tuck down in here, and your juice is pretty much going to feed in from the bottom, so you can kind of fan out your cotton to get the maximum amount of coverage. And yeah, that's it. That's the build deck. Let's do a quick build on this. I'll show you guys how I prefer to build it, how I prefer to wick it. So for this build, I'll be using some frame staple coils from Coilology. Since I am a fanboy, I pretty much only use these coils. And I'm going to use this coiling tool that I got from Mike's RDA. If you have any kind of coiling tool, it just makes it a little bit easier to measure out the leads. So all I'm going to do is take this coil, pre-made of course, and drop it into the holes, and then I'm going to snip the leads. And once you got your leads cut, you can go ahead and attempt to drop the coil in here. I always have a hard time doing this because, well, I'm special, folks. Once you got your coil in there, if you're wondering, can your leads touch the bottom of the base? The answer is yes. You can have your leads touch. It's not going to short it out or anything like that, so don't think that you have to cut your leads short to where it doesn't touch. You can see my coils are touching right there. Even on the one I've been using, the coils are touching, the leads are touching the bottom, and it's perfectly fine. So no problems there. Now if you grab your coiling tool, you can go ahead and straighten out your coils like so. Come on, you could find the hole. There you go. If you want the perfect height possible, is you could take this little chimney right here and you could place it over, and that way it'll give you an idea on how high to set your coils, how far to pull them out. And of course you don't want the coils touching the top of this or the sides, but it's best to probably pull them out, you know, a little farther, but you get the idea there. So that looks pretty good. Let's dry burn it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me unlock my mod. Let's get rid of any hot spots because I'm pretty sure there's going to be some hot spots in here. And yes, we got some hot spots. So take the back side of your tweezers. You guys know the drill. And just scrape the coils to remove any hot spots. One thing to keep in mind is this bottom O-ring loves to move around. It loves to pop off. So just be careful that that O-ring is in place when you screw your tank down, because you don't want to screw it down and find out the O-ring is pinched. Just keep a close eye on this O-ring. So let's grab some cotton. Oh, the ready wicks barely fit in these coils. Oh, you son of a... So what I'll have to do is take tweezers or pliers or something and try to get a grip on it just to pull it through. Oh, come on. Come on. There we go. Whoa, I almost pulled it out too far. Now, the reason why these quick wicks sometimes don't fit, it's not because there's too much cotton. It's because these little plastic ends are kind of flat rather than round. So they're a little tight trying to get through the coil. But once you get through the coil, snip the ends off, and then we can place our cotton down into the channels. Now, of course, that's way too much cotton to try to fit down in there. So we're going to use the fine tip or needle tip tweezers, and we're going to brush out the cotton to kind of thin it out a little bit. And to make it a little bit easier to tuck the cotton down into the channel, I like to take a little liquid, whatever liquid you're going to use for the tank, and just moisten up the cotton a little bit so that way it's a little bit easier to manage it. Now that is going to be much easier to place down in there for most people. I'm still going to struggle a little bit, but all you have to do is just kind of fold it down and then just take it, make sure it's tucked behind the threads. There we go. I probably could have made it maybe a hair bit longer. Well, that actually should be pretty perfect right there. And now what we're going to do is just take the chimney, Pop it down inside of there. And screw this down. Make sure, once again, there's no cotton hitting the threads. You don't want it to get caught in the threads. Screw this down. There we go. Pop the fill cap off. Grab your preferred bottle of juice. Fill her up. And that's pretty much it. So we won't talk about the fact that Geekvape, before I even had this RTA in my hands, asked me if I would title the video Best Leak-Proof RTA. So if you're looking for the Zeus X on YouTube and you see Best Leak-Proof RTA everywhere, you know why. I don't know why they would ask people to do that, especially when it's not even in their hands yet, but I will tell you this. It is a damn good RTA. Really good flavor. The airflow's nice. It does get a little whooshy sounding at times because it is top airflow, but it's nothing too annoying. So let's have a quick vape off the X, and then we'll dive through it, and we'll wrap it up. All right, here we go. Beautiful. Drip tips. Geekvape always covers every drip tip. So even though these drip tips are not really my style, they are some of the lowest tips I've ever seen. You can use all your standard drip tips. I can use my senior citizen drip tip. You got the 510 adapter. You can use your 510 drip tip. So everything's covered there. The threadless quarter turn top fill feature is always nice. You don't have to struggle with trying to get a grip on it and continue to unscrew it. Sometimes when I remove the fill cap, I'll grab the airflow control ring and it pops off with the fill cap. I kind of wish the airflow control ring was fixed to the RTA so that way it wouldn't come off. It's not really an issue. It's just kind of a, I don't know, just something for me to complain about. The airflow holes are nice and large. You'll get plenty of airflow off this one. You get the bubble glass, the standard glass, and this does kind of eat through the liquid depending on the bill you have. I have a 0.12 on here and it burns through the juice. And of course, airflow being on the top means it's not going to leak. This thing just, yeah, of course it's not going to leak. Unless you mount your Maz on your shelf upside down. Now, you will get spitback if you don't wick it correctly. If the wicks are too loose, you don't have enough cotton in there, you might get some spitback, but I did not experience any spitback, any leakage, any dry hits. The juice feeds to the coil really fast. And the build deck, really easy to build on because of the bridge style post. You just drop your coil in there, screw it down. Not a fan of the flathead post screws, more of a personal preference. I just like the Allen or hex screws because the key kind of sits in there. With the flathead, your screwdriver slides around, you can't get a good grip on it. And the O-ring on the bottom likes to move around a lot. So just be careful when you're putting this thing together. That O-ring sits in place when you screw it down. You don't want to pinch it and then fill it up and find out, you know, you got juice coming out everywhere. But really, I have no complaints with this thing. It's easy to build on. It's easy to wick. It's got a great vape to it. Flavor is awesome. Airflow is almost perfect. And I can use my own drip tip. I think this is an awesome addition to the Zeus family. And if you enjoyed the Zeus before, you're going to enjoy it even more now. Is it the best leak-proof RTA? No, there's no such thing, but it's a damn good vape. So that's pretty much it, guys, for the X. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and if you hated it, give it a thumbs down. I'll see you guys on the next one. Make sure you guys build safe, and as always, vape on.